Hey guys, how are you feeling? Ooh, December 31st. Shout, look, I know some of y'all gotta be out here like, okay, wrap it up. Let's wrap it up. Oh man, I laugh, because, sometimes, this 2022, you guys, on the calendrical wheel, so to speak, right? It's all a part of the dance. We're a part of everything, and symbolism in many different ways teaches us stuff, right? We have numerology. We have studying the basis of numerology and energy behind numbers. You can take significant energetic messages from numbers, and we do that, And so it's not to say, I think it's wonderful. I've been doing these series of natal chart readings partnered with tarot interpretation. Excuse me. And one of the important points that I've kind of been reminding people in private readings that I work with is that, we can always find the lesson, find the self-reflective tool, or find, and it can be an intuitive way for the universe to speak to us, right? But it's all in how you perceive it, and it's all good ultimately. All of it is us, so to speak. But we've been talking about in these readings, how, excuse me. Sorry, I had some Nag Champa going I was going to share with us. Where's she at? So, get, as Miss Tab would say, get into it. Y'all, what else she say? I love Miss Tab. Oh, man, something else. I love my spirituality, and I like to try to see the value in everything as much as possible, and I was raised in the South, as you would say, heavily churched, which, can you vote with me, heavily churched in the South, in the Southeast? She hit is a little bit different than other places, okay? But anyway, I digress. Look, what does she say? Y'all, what does Miss Tab say? Oh, come on in the room. Isn't that what she's talking about, y'all? Love Miss Tab. Let me just sit with her. You know what? I bet if she has never burned Nag Champa, I bet, knowing her, she probably has. But we could put her on, y'all. We could put Miss Tab on to burning some Nag Champa. Having some tea with us. No, but seriously, I was just saying, let's get into it. Miss Tab always has a place to get into it. Let's get into the Nag Champa. Listen, focus. Look, I've been sharing with my people that I've been working with privately, right? Is that we can reflect on the energetic numerical signature of each year. And so we were kind of walking back as an intro to some of these readings. You can look into astrology, and of course we can take it all the way back to some things that started rippling open and shifting in like 2012. But let's just, for the sake of, let's just say 2020. It was a 4-year, I affectionately like to call this, with people that I've been working with and have been walking through tarot and astrology with for a while now. We call that the simmer pot year. And the 4s is about either, rebuilding, strengthening your foundation, or finding the weaknesses in your foundation. And if you know what I'm saying about COVID and all the lovely things, we all just got shut in a pot. And what you was with it, and you was going to find out what was going on. In 2020 was also when Saturn started doing movements with Aquarius. We were entering into the age of Aquarius not long after that. So 2020 was our foundational 4-year. And then that we went through that great conjunction, and then we moved in 2021, and the whole well, it kind of hit different everywhere. And, a lot of people are still neck deep in the COVID and the limitations and all that, so respect to that, really depending upon where you were, right? But anyway, so we go into 2021, and then we have the energy of the fives. And so you're thinking of, that your 4-year would be the Emperor and the Tarot, structure, boundaries, discipline or lack thereof. Where's the flexibility in the foundation? Let's find the cracks, the creaks. We're going to push them out. We're either going to tear it down or we're going to rebuild, right? And then you've got your, fives in the tarot. And for me, when we talk through the 5-year, it was a lot more about challenges, and ultimately how on a lower frequency and vibration we can view the fives. You're thinking the 5 of Swords, you're thinking the 5 of Wands, right, and the 5 of Cups, and it's in the fives. The fives are more about how, if you think about the Rider-Waite Tarot, and you think about this being a year of challenges in 2021. Ultimately, the way to shift and transform in 2021 from that lower frequency evolving into the higher vibrate. We have the low and the high. It's no good, better, best. We all resonate in different spots in that journey all the time. So the fives was about understanding you're either saying you're playing the blame game on your external challenges, and it's that eternal victim, if I can blame someone else, I don't have to take responsibility mindset. But then you keep getting stuck in the loop of everyone else's conflicts. And then you shifted the game in the year of 5 when you understood that, excuse me guys, we've all had this respiratory guk where I'm at. But you shifted the game in the year of the 5s when you could begin to understand that ultimately the only thing you can control is yourself. And the more that you can grow and evolve in inner work, you understand what provokes you. You understand your own mental, emotional, and spiritual challenges and points of growth. So there's a shifting point in 2021, and that 5s, that challenging year. And then we came into the year this year of 6s. That's the Lover's card. What is the 5? Is it the Hermit? Anyway, I don't have that in front of me. And that's a shame, y'all. But it escapes me at the moment. Listen, so we come in 2022. That's 222. That's our 6-year, very expansive year, choice-making year. And once again, I'll tell you, the Lover's card in the tarot deck is about so much more than soulmates and all these things, and that's a beautiful aspect of it. But ultimately, we're our own soulmate first. We have our own dualities. We have our own ways of finding balance and harmony within, and learning ourselves and knowing thyself to the point of becoming your own soulmate first. The 6s are also about expansion. They're about choices. A lot of choices. If we played the 5 dance out, and we understood our mind game, we understood our inner evolutionary game, we learned how to redirect our internal compass. And then we came into the 6 years and we learned how to make those choices. And we saw ourselves grow through the evolution of our choices. And therefore we could either contract again and learn more lessons. And that's okay. Sometimes, look, I don't know about y'all, but some love and light, respectfully. Sometimes you have to study more subjects. We all have strengths and weaknesses. You might pass math with flying colors, but I'm going to have to go back and study that one a few times. We all have tests that have really stumbled us. We all have different soul contracts. We all have different karmic cycles that we go through. And it's all a different journey. And it's tiered. And it's unique. And it is fluid. But we grew through our choices. And so now this brings us into the 7s year. And the 7th card in the tarot is going to be the Chariot. So I think it's a beautiful card to meditate on as we go into this new year. And I want to make a comment about the Wheel of the Year as well, because there is a way that we can you know, find the wisdom in anything to use it as a tool for our growth, but not be controlled by it. Do you know what I'm saying? So I do want to talk about honoring the wheel of the year, because we'll never escape that we are ultimately a part of Gaia and the Earth grid. And the smarter that we can flow, it's like work smarter, not harder. So, but listen, let's talk about the Chariot though. And there's, oh my gosh, there's so much. I should have gotten a picture for us, but there's so much numerological meat behind the Chariot card, and you know, we could make a whole video on talking about it. But essentially, when we transition from the Lovers to the Chariot, right? We are, you know, we've done this dance in the year of choices. A lot of karmic cycles have come to completion, and a lot of evolutionary things have been realized. I was going to see if I could find us the, yeah, you know, I should have had this card out, but we just wing it around here. I have so much Aquarius in my own chart, y'all. We just, it's like, hit it, get it, let's go. There's the Lovers, though. I love this, the pre-Raphaelite tarot, and I love, it's very Italian Renaissance. I love the image of that there. But when we transition, oh, there she is. Look at that. It's gorgeous. Look at those. What is it? You choose which wolf to feed. We finally have our horses in the line. We learned our karmic lessons. We've evolved some of those soul contracts, and we're ready to change our frequency. We are moving on up to a different resonance of frequency, because we're ready to call another level of things in, right? But the transformation in the movement from the Lovers, the sixth one in the major arcana, excuse me, to the Chariot, is we've done a lot of work on inner, I don't want to say conflicts, but that inner balance of opposites, because that is a huge energy in the Lovers card. We've kind of brought up the Lovers card as a lot of solve, a coagula type of energy, you know, breaking down to purify and then rejoin. And a lot of choices happen this year to let us see things internally and externally, as within, so without. And things that no longer wanted to be suppressed, that maybe, again, coming from a 5-year, we had been internally stewing on and dealing with emotional wound healing around. So when we shift to a 7-year, you know, we shift into a 7 is a huge magical number, obviously. And it's a powerful, saying I'm ready to trust my instincts. It's going to be a very instinctual year, a very intuitive year. And some of the collective readings that I've channeled as well, if you go through some of those, this message was coming out about us being led by our higher self, by our ancestors, our guides, ultimately to come in such a strong alignment, that we're ready to trust our instincts. We are ready. We have done the emotional work. We've done the healing work. We've been doing, well, and we'll still keep doing this in different cycles, but there are so many karmic cycle completions that have happened this year due to the choices we've been making. So shifting into the 7 energy is like finally putting that carrot, I was explaining it this way to someone, finally putting the blinders on the horse and putting that carrot down. And, understanding it's like I'm blind to my left, I'm blind to my right, and I'm not stopping for anything. That's how much I've worked for this alignment. That is how much I've worked to clarify what I will honor with my energy, what I will not. You know, what karma I will complete and what I will no longer accept. And we can continue to say this throughout various choices we've made, right? The Chariot is a victorious card. And with Jupiter in Aries until May. Okay, and we've been doing this Saturn in Aquarius. I'm not even going to get into the conjunctions and Uranus and all this right now. Because I was like, this is not going to be an hour video. So, the Chariot. The Chariot is a very powerful card about flowing with the universe. Okay. I love how on a lot of cards, not this one specifically, but there are a good many illustrations. The top deck, and I can even name all the decks, but it's illustrated in a way that the writer has no reins because he is trusting the universe and flowing. There's the blue in his curtains that note that, you know, divine rivers are always flowing with him. And it's kind of a Cancerian reference. And it's this energy of, you know, bending with flexibility, but keeping your eye on the forward prize or the forward vision, so to speak. And Spirit is saying this is more of a word of like vision, okay, that will guide us forward. The Chariot, it is just about overcoming fears, really. You know, we've done so much work in a 6 year that now is the time to not back down from the vision. The vision may look like a creative goal for you. The vision may be a mind, body, spirit alignment. It may be, I know that health is a big, is a big thing that's coming through this year and taking care of our bodies. But however it applies to you, you know, that the year of the Chariot is going to be a very powerful year on our evolutionary path, you know, nonetheless. But I think it's also really important as we consider, you know, moving through the numerological energy, and we can use that to, as a point of reflection. The Hierophant, I'm sorry, it was number 5, random, the Hierophant. And then the Lovers, and then the Chariot. But yeah, the Chariot ultimately is just, we are focusing our energy. We are traveling with haste, so to speak. I now know my direction. Before in the Lovers, maybe there's a lot of disharmony in me. I had to work really hard on loving myself, getting out of manipulation, getting in out of unbalanced energetic contracts and exchanges and jobs and positions and peoples. There were parts of me that had to continue breaking down to put me in a position to make choices where I could then institute healthy boundaries. Then I could institute, for me, what do I need in healthy energetic exchange in a relationship? What is my alignment with the highest philosophy of what I believe in? Why? We had a beautiful Sagittarius stellium. We had a lovely Sagittarius season that segued us into Capricorn season that helped us do a lot of that work. And so now here we are. And we're going to move in the direction with haste. We have our blinders on, and now we know where we're going. And that is the energetic tone of the year. And then we have this beautiful, on December 20th, I think it was, on December 20th, Jupiter moved into Aries. We had this beautiful period where we had Jupiter in Pisces. You know, Jupiter's the big benefic, the archetype of the collective energy of wisdom, of graceful expansion, of blessing and abundance. And on a lower vibration, yeah, that's like money, okay? But no, we have bigger keys that unlock doors that are so far beyond abundance being monetary. But I digress. Anyway, the big benefactor has now shifted from, there was a dreamy place where we were doing a lot of vision work. And now Jupiter moving into Aries is saying, excuse me, we're going to get a surge of energy. We need confidence. We need to take risks. We need to be ready to experience. Jupiter in Aries is setting such a big tone because this is such a big energetic chord in the collective. And Jupiter is going to be in Aries until May. So this is taking you through the thick of, and to the end of winter, on through early spring, on into the beginnings of the manifestations and getting ready to go into summer. So it's big energy. It's very abundant energy. It's very show up as you, it's very like, I'll be damned if I helped you expand this much for you to not own and grow into, and it's like a own it type of thing. Do you know what I mean? I did not do the emotional work to go back to these energetic contracts. I did not do this spiritual work to reduce my own worth and value. I'm not going to discount my instincts. It's not a play it small kind of year. Now look. We're not talking about, because remember, when we're driving our chariot, look, we're going to have the black and the white horse. You know, what are we doing? We got to keep the reins right. It doesn't mean we're not being smart. It just means we're not avoiding risks, right? You know, we want to grow and expand with wisdom. Jupiter and Aries can be an energy, especially if you have certain placements in your chart with fire, with Aries, or with cardinal signs. You can feel it a little bit differently, and it can get a little bit intense. But you know, Jupiter wants us to bring our relationship with our own truth, with our own systems and our own alignment, bring it down. Capricorn is a more feminine earth sign. So we're being here, we're rolling into the new year, calendarically speaking, right? And we're saying, we are in an earth sign. We are getting rooted. We're evaluating our structures, but we're doing so in a very like yin, feminine type way. So what we're doing is we are getting grounded. We are being structured, but this isn't like Virgo, let's go, let's clean this house. I'm about to come in here and get your house together. It's not like that. It's a more receptive, quiet. I'm listening. What is my vision? And I'm encouraging people in these one-on-one times, you know, the tighter you can align with what the core of your vision is. You know what I mean? When you're making a vision board, when you are planning your Google Calendar for the year, when you're writing your petitions, when you're setting up your planners, your journals, whatever it is that you do, right? For your personal goals, for your mind, body, spirit, personal goals, the tighter the alignment is with your authentic self. And you know how you get that? You get that through vision work, through your meditation routine, through your quietness, through your, is my sleep schedule on point? This is how we get that better alignment. Now is a great time to, you know, be in receptive places in nature, you know, a place that flows, that has river, but that has abundance in trees and grounding and stuff like that. You know, sleep in this season right now to prepare us to usher on through and ride this Jupiter and Aries and be in best alignment with it to our own authenticity. It's going to be important right now to rest, you know, our culture is going to tell us to be hitting it and getting it with our ground, feet on the ground running, right? Excuse me. Okay, it's Monday, you know, holidays up, let's hustle, let's go. And, we have to listen to the earth and also flow with the earth, flow with the collective energies, not against them. But before I segue into that, Jupiter and Pisces, I'm saying again, this is going to be the energy that's going to carry us on out until May. You know, we are taking action. What is the risk that you really need to springboard off of that vision? Do you know what I mean? Is it finally moving to the place? Is it finally, you know, marketing the brand? Is it finally, you know, stepping out and taking the new courses to learn the skill? Is it joining the new community? Whatever it is for you, you know, take it how it resonates in your own life and your own goals. But either way, we ain't going to do nothing sitting on the sidelines arguing with both horses while everyone else has already put their blinders on and they're out and they're moving. Do you know what I mean? This is the energy. So, I love that as well. Aries is the first sign in the zodiac. This is a very childlike energy. It's a very, I'm ready to birth out this excitement of this new consciousness. And again, this all lines back to the vision. We're ready to evolve into a new journey with a new consciousness, with a new level of commitment to our own authenticity. I think confidence are huge, important words. Risk, please, risk with intelligent planning and thought behind it, okay? Independent, you know, willing to go in unfamiliar places. There's a little spontaneity. Again, think of the Fool card. The Aries is the first on the zodiac wheel. So this is the energy that we are getting ready to kind of work our way through with Jupiter and Aries. I think another important thing to pay attention to here within our Capricorn season, preparing to go in this new year, is to reflect on the fact that, oh, I didn't write down the date. You guys, I think, is it January 17th? Saturn will be in Aquarius again. Saturn in Aquarius is a great point to read about, to find resources and understand these dances and these movements that Saturn and Aquarius have been doing. And then again, as us entering that age of Aquarius shift, has been going on since 2020. And so now here we are starting another new year. Saturn is going to revisit in Aquarius. And Saturn in Aquarius, Saturn versus Saturn conjunct, Saturn retro, or, Aquarius, however you want to call it. And we've had multiple selections, as you can go back and read over the couple years. Saturn in Aquarius is about shifting your perspectives, about paradigm shifts. Saturn is the old boss. You know what I mean? The old daddy of the family, the lord of karma and time. In classical astrology, before we could use, all these gadgets to see other planets, Saturn used to be kind of the end all be all, the gateway to death, the end, the boss. This is the way we've done it. And we do it this way because why? Do you have a better plan to present to me? Have you learned your lessons? Do you need to be disciplined? You know what I'm saying? And that's not all, Saturn does this wonderful thing in juxtaposition with Aquarius, right? Saturn reminds us that we're not going to wake up tomorrow, not in this dimension, not yet anyway. Be that we all wake up tomorrow and we have shifted into some kind of miraculous 5D consciousness. I ain't knocking it, I'm with it. Let's go. A video for another day. Seriously though, Saturn reminds us you can Kundalini, awaken, rise, spell, high, magic, ritual, book reading, sigil, you spell yourself up, right? But tomorrow, I guarantee when you wake up in the morning, you're going to put 2 human feet down on the floor. You're going to look in the mirror. You're going to have to be accountable to self. Now, we can debate all day over coffee or Jack Daniels, whatever. What is time? Time is a construct. Is it real? And I love that. I can hang with that because I'm an Aquarius. However, the structures that we are in right now, we all need balance. Our egos serve a purpose. We are present in this current dimension. And when we wake up, we will, if we're doing all of this collective shift, paradigm shift, meditation, all these wonderful things, but if we're not channeling down in a concrete way to really shift foundations and break things and change things for the collective and, do these things that exist in the constructs of time, then what are we doing? Right? And then, Aquarius is very much the, the visionary of the future. Saturn is like about the timeline, and Aquarius wants to be rebellious. It wants to think of how we can get outside of the box. How can we create a new reality that will serve humanity and collective? And, it's very much about I am my own authority, whereas Saturn, these energies kind of, they knock up against each other and they challenge each other. But sometimes I feel that Saturn is the type of boss that's like, well, we can do my plan until you present me with a better plan. Now, if you can show me that your plan works better, let's work as a team and we'll restructure it. And I think you're on to something. So, don't knock Saturn. Saturn and Aquarius are a great team, actually. And classically, Saturn used to rule Aquarius, although, it's ruled by Uranus now. But Saturn, also Saturn rules Capricorn. We're in Capricorn season, but these shifts and dances and energies that have been going on between Saturn and Aquarius want us to learn about discipline. They want us to learn about awareness. What are the limitations? How can I think outside the box, but how can I work within them? What do I need to take responsibility for in myself? And how can my responsibilities help me mature spiritually, help me mature mentally, help me mature psychologically to be the highest evolving healing, growing version of myself for the collective. Because ultimately, if I can't do that discipline work, if I can't do that growth, maturity, responsibility work for myself, it's not going to be shit for the collective. You know what I mean? That has to happen on an individual level first. And it is about maturity. It is about self-mastery. And Aquarius is definitely very much about freedom. It's very much about how have I been conditioned? Who says I have to be in that group? Who says I have to think this way? I can be innovative, and we can, but it partners so well with the Saturn energy. Do you know what I'm saying? Don't miss that. It's very important to understand that energy is also what we're entering in to Capricorn season with. Well, not really. We're already entering, I'm sorry, more like what we're going into the new year with. We're thinking about our Saturn placements, our Aquarius placements. We're thinking about what is outdated in my life. Have I been disciplined enough with myself? Am I maturing? Am I trying to master self before I go out shouting from the rooftops about how I'm going to be my own authority, And I love it. I love freedom of thinking. Let's meditate. Let's sit out and let's talk about, let's do all, let's be alternative. Sun and Moon and Aquarius, a lot of other Aquarius placements in my chart. We can get down on all of that. However, you know what I mean? The message really feels like in a year of sevens, when you're literally the Chariot card, you're about to put blinders on, and it's about to be like 3, 2, 1, gunshot, and we're going to go off the line, right? And we got this Jupiter energy, just like someone lighting a fire under. Okay, I gave you the abundance. You've worked for the wisdom. Are you ready to expand? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we get this flame, and we're going to get ready to move forward. But that's like saying a runner who hasn't practiced. You know what I mean? A runner who has no idea about their bodily limitations. They really haven't been eating well. There's no maturity. There's no responsibility. You get what I'm saying? So, with all personal freedoms, with all liberation, there has to be discipline and maturity to wield that in a way where our own highest authentic version of ourselves, so we can trust that version. And when we take that type of responsibility and we start to kind of make tangible movements and making new paradigms and anchoring in energetic signatures that bring in different levels of reality, that comes with self-mastery and responsibility. It has to go hand in hand. So that is a big message to think about. It's wonderful at this time to look at where your Jupiter is. Where do you have Saturn placements? Where do you have Aquarius placements? Look at your houses. Your big personal planets are excellent to think about. And obviously your big three, But yeah, that's the tone that we're moving into the new year with here. In our Capricorn season, again, I encourage you as we go into the new year in this Capricorn season, we want to be in touch with, in this earth sign that is very feminine, that is very yin. We want to be in touch of what we're feeling, what we're sensing, in an introspective season, which is also a lot about things like integrity, about maturity. It's so much more of an energy of, can I reflect on what I've learned and integrate it? And that's alchemy, and that's evolution. And if we're doing that, what's the point in making a resolution? My friend was talking about today, and shout out to her because I love her, and it was such a wonderful point. Why are you making resolutions if you're not even able to sit and self-reflect on the lessons from the past? Because that's real maturity. That's a real introspection. And again, I just encourage rest. I encourage rest because we can sit quietly by a river, and our bodies will naturally attune to the magnetic grid of the earth. the sun will align us with the electric energy. We will sit and come into alignment. And we may not hear angels sing. We may not see a clairvoyant vision that we just gonna, tell on YouTube. No, love and light. No, you know what I'm saying? I'm just, because I have those sometimes. I'm not knocking it, But I'm saying there are nuances that are happening when we take time to be introspective, to be quiet, to connect with the earth. It's all a part of the earth. Don't worry. We're not getting away from our mother. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. It's been a message on my heart lately, but that would take a lot more time to unpack that. But don't worry about that. There are a lot of subtle things that happen in your energetic fields and your auric bodies, your emotional, physical, psychic auric bodies, your meridians, your chakras. There are a lot of things that are happening in nature, and you don't have to hear anything or do anything. You're just chilling with your mother, and she knows, and your higher light bodies, your Davic spirits, your ancestors, your guides are there, being present with you all the time. But if we cannot, look at that, strength. Strength. This is a beautiful card because people miss. Everybody wants to roar like a lion. Do you know what I mean? But people miss that the most powerful source that all rivers flow back to the ocean. Is very yin, but it changes the whole earth more than anything else does. Rivers, canyons, entire continental shifts. Do you know what I'm saying? All because of water. All because of yin. All because of rhythm, consistency, flow, understanding. Nobody's going to show up to the river and be like, "Oh, river, you better watch out," because you don't even know what ocean you're going back to. How do you even know the way? How do you even know the way the ocean? The river's like, just keeps flowing. Because the river doesn't need to tell you that it came from the ocean, that everything is going to go back to the ocean, that it's never ending. What is the most recent Avatar is The Way of Water, right? If I'm a huge fan, but if you haven't seen it and you're into it, you should see it. It's a beautiful, timely undercurrent of a message that has to do with yin water energy. And it's a gorgeous, I love the way it's represented. But anyway, no one has to tell the river of what it's doing getting back to the ocean, And the ocean's not out there worried if all the rivers are going to make it back to her. And the river's like, "Oh, that's cute. So some stuff fell in the way. I'll flow in another path. I know where I'm going." Do you know what I mean? Serenity, grace, and ease. Now don't get don't get a river twisted. You know what I'm saying? Because the river is not weak. Have you ever seen it flood? Have you ever seen multiple rivers unite and join together into a very large flow and motion and movement of water? You know, when the water element comes together in her strength, that's an unstoppable force, and you better move. Nothing. No road that was built. No, I'm telling you, canyons. You know what I mean? Think of the Grand Canyon. Nothing. Okay, but it's grace, it's ease, it's serenity, it's trust, it is wisdom and understanding. That the water understands it is all connected. It's all the same source. There's a beauty, there's an ease, there's a serenity, and in that calm and graceful serenity and ease, and being able to be flexible. Because you can't tell me what happens when you sit on a horse, right? We're throwing back to the chariot. And when you sit on a horse, if you've ridden a horse, what you got to do, you can't be stiff. You can't, you're going to bumble all around on the horse, right? When you're riding a horse, you have to understand you've got to kind of flow and have a little bit of ease and the grace and the rhythm. You're trusting the movements. You're syncing yourself. And there's trust. There's flow. There's a lot of gracefulness that comes with that, right? So you can't tell me you're going to sit there and drive two polar opposite horses together with a chariot on the back, not having ease and grace. Like, come on, that's laughable. It's okay. So I love to see the strength card too here. I love to see it. And I always encourage people when you see the Strength card, remember the grace that comes with the Strength card. And once again, don't get her twisted. You know, don't think because she's holding a flower, and there's so much grace in this photo. You know, if you had like, what is it, the before and after tarot, if you've ever seen those, but I was just thinking like an after picture before. It's like trying to get your dog to pose in the right. You know, she's probably grabbed the lion by his mane and reminded him who's like really in charge here. And we can do that. And we can do that if we need to. But that's not where the sweet spot is. Right? Ultimately your anima, your instincts inside you will guide you. But if you're constantly flowing in ease and trust and serenity and grace, I mean, as best you can. Nobody's perfect out here, and we all have shit days. But if you are doing the work, you know, your higher self, your ancestors, your team, the universe will guide you in ease and grace and flow. So let's rest and let's just practice gratitude, you know, and we trust in ease and grace and flow. I wanted to hop on here, you guys, and chat with you, wish you a happy New Year's Eve. And you know what, this reminds me, I didn't get back to this, but it's important to reflect on the wheel of the year. And that is not just people's like, that's a pagan thing, that's a practice. And to each their own, trust your intuition, take what resonates, leave the rest, please. You know, and love and respect to you for that. Absolutely. But the wheel of the year is the way of nature. We don't escape being gridded to nature. And may the gods help us the day that we think we do. Anyway, yet again, I'm always like, I need to make post-it notes for other videos because that's a whole nother video. However, the wheel of the year is beautiful. It's graceful, and it flows by aeons and aeons and aeons and aeons of wisdom and design and cyclical flow and magnetic and electric energy and all of these things, right? So when we look at the wheel of the year, this is what is innately in our core. So if we remember, it's beautiful to observe numerological inspiration points, glean different things from astrology, and think about the new year. And that's fine. You know, we all have planners. We all have things that we are doing in our 3D mind, in our, as we would say, monkey mind. And not necessarily, I haven't meditated to a point to escape that. If you have, holla, you know, let me know. But all of it is the work. You know, I am that I am, and you are that as well. And all of this is the work. So on the wheel of the year, though, we remember that just because it says January the 1st, and then after that we hit the ground running on Monday, it does not have to be hustle, 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 go, 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 grind, 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 hit it, get it. Do you know what I mean? Nothing produces all year long. It does not. Society and culture and marketing, for good psychological reason, to work your highest, most powerful sovereign self against you, will try to convince you otherwise. But you remember that it's okay to rest. Do you remember that January is still winter? February is still winter. The flowers aren't even ready to hit go and be reproducing anything until, I mean, granted, I'll give you maybe early spring. You know, because I do love to go and find what we call the first blooms, and they do always happen after my birthday time. But look, observe your winter space. Take winter time to do the vision work, to do the alignment. If you got a little bit of shadow work and healing list, we're always going to have that every cycle. That's the way it goes. You're going to point out somewhere on the earth where shit does not die again in the fall. Show me where that is. Somebody's probably going to say, technically. But listen, you get what I'm saying. Because I'm avidly into environmental science as well, but I digress. You get what I'm saying? Do your vision work in the winter. Align with the core of your purpose and get that tight. Understand your trigger points, your wound healing points as you go into this new year and you're planning to make it successful in your mind, your body, and your spirit. But please don't forget to rest. Please don't be so hard on yourself. I'm going to tell you a secret, is that you're divine, walking in form. You literally are. And no one wants you to believe that. And so you're actually so worthy without even all the hustle, 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 hit it, get it. I got goals, I got visions, I have things that I want to do as well. I want to care for my body. But be mindful of your rest, your hermitude, your peace and quiet of your mind and your spirit, and take care of yourself. I do wish you such a happy New Year's Eve. And I look forward to 2023, to our 7 year, to our blinders on, chase that carrot year. Okay? I wish you the best of blessings and wisdom and gratitude and evolution. And I look forward to talking to you guys soon. I hope you have a great New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Please be safe. And thank you for spending some time with me today.